You're not giving me an argument that I haven't heard before. Everybody brings this argument up.
Well, I guess I'm not that good.
Genocide? How come God
And I
created genocide?
think that argument plays a lot because it's actually true.
Well, it is historically accurate, but the problem is, Nas, is you can't understand why God did it. So you can't
now
give me
you tell me about my understanding. Please tell me more about what I don't understand. Please.
So all you have is your limited understanding of what happened in that story. You don't understand the people they did this to. You don't understand the times they were living. You don't understand what was actually happening in the Canaanite camps.
And you have the encapsulated knowledge of people who never had running water.
I know historically and biblically why God had the Canaanites destroyed. At least I have that.
Which
now,
is?
Every tyrant can justify it if you let him. And you give Joseph Stalin enough time, he'll justify his crime.
Hey, Nas, do I want to go around killing people?
What was the justification of killing them?
I hope not.
What was the justification of killing them? Listen,
I'm not a religious guy. I think religion is a tool of the powerful to dictate how the powerless live. You go back to feudalism in Europe, where they were dominating these other people, forcing them to live on lands, making them actually pay tribute to them. Had something called right of first night, to where if somebody got married, the lords of the land got to sleep with the wife before the husband. Like these are the people we're talking about. Then you go to slavery, and you see these people justifying the use of slavery with that same very book.
Okay,
like these are the people we're talking about.
Here we go with the slavery thing, because now you're not. I got to ask you a question.
Yeah, little thing like slavery.
I got to ask you a question. I'm asking you a question, okay? Mm-hmm. This is just your opinion. You're not really thinking that the same kind of slavery back in antiquity is the same kind of slavery we saw in America, do you?
No, those are different.
Okay,
that's true.
Stop right there. Okay. Now, the reason why there was slavery many times is so God can give grace to people who are less important. Sometimes somebody had to pay for debt. There were Jews who were slaves to Jews. Okay? That's number one. Number two, there is an entire book of laws associated only for people who owned slaves. For instance, if you owned a slave from a different country and you mistreat them, God says that person should be punished. If you rape a woman and treat her badly and she's a slave, you will be put to death. If you hurt a child, if you mistreat any of your slaves, he would have the right to destroy you. So, yes, there were slaves, there were servants, if you will, but they were not mistreated. And when they were supposed to put each other into judgment. God didn't want people to be treated cruelly. Now,
let me ask you another question, because that's interesting that you went there with that. Let me ask you another question. If there was an island of people, if there were two islands, and basically they had no contact with the outside world, and we gave one island the Bible, and we gave the other island the Constitution. If we came back in 100 years, how do you think those two islands would be doing?
If you had two islands, one you made slavery of biblical times, and one you made slavery
of... No. I didn't say anything about slavery. I said you gave one island the Constitution, you gave the other island the Bible. How do you think those islands would do if you came back in 100 years?
Well, true biblical Christians will build a civilization and love each other because Christ commands it.
Show me on anywhere on planet Earth where that exists right now.
My own church. Our people love each other.
No. Christian nation. Don't give me a church. That's a small set of people. Give me a whole nation.
That's weird. That's kind of a weird question, Nas, because we're growing up with wheat and terror in between. So there are churches, for instance, they have non-believers in them, but we don't know necessarily that they're non-believers. Sometimes it's obvious. But you have a nation that's mixed both of Christians and non-Christians. So there are.
I'm just saying, we've had this Bible for a long time. You guys should be able to provide a good example. And I just don't see.
I don't know if I understand the question.
Well, it's not a difficult question. I'm saying I need evidence. Like you're saying that there's this Christian nation that will be doing all these different things. And I'm saying, how come we don't have one right now on this earth? How come there's not one Christian nation that you could really get behind and say, this Christian nation right here exemplifies the Bible, Jesus, and God's teaching?
You need that, Nas. Why would that be Christian for you? We don't live in that world.
Well, by their works you will know them.
Yeah. Okay, so you just took that out of context. Go ahead. You did. Nothing to do with nation.
I know I did. I'm just saying, you guys need to prove something to the world. Because right now, what you've proven to the world is you're willing to attach yourself to any crimes against humanity in order to justify propping yourself up, and that Bible will be used not as a healing of people and a way to heal humanity. It's been used as a hammer to bang down humanity, and especially the poor.
I think terrible.
The poor will get theirs in the next life, right? That's how it works. Huh?
Yeah, a lot of people have done terrible things. Yep, I agree.
Yeah. So, like I said, man, I understand you're fully committed. I have a whole family. Just about. I have a lot of family members who are fully committed.
God wants you to be saved. Did you know that?
Well, I don't think you people are capable of saving anybody. So, it is.
Nas, hold on. I didn't say I can save you. I said you ought to be saved. I wish God would save you, but He hasn't. And maybe
because it's not up to a God. Look, a God who sits back and allows what happens to happen on this earth is either not a God worth praising or a God who doesn't care. It's that simple.
You're just repeating what other people have said. What's your real feelings? Why are you running away from God, Nas? Why?
I'm not running away from anything. I took a lot of time in that church as a kid. I listened. I learned, and I found out it was trash. That's my statement. The great Frederick Douglass said he prayed every day to be free, and he only got free when he actually prayed with his legs and ran away.
Yeah, well, that's just bad theology. Hey, Nate or Nas, can I ask you? It's kind of a theology. Can I ask you a personal question?
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, I mean, this is really personal, so if you don't want to answer it, I totally understand.
My man, I'm good with open speech. It matters not to me.
Is there a lifestyle that you live that if you knew God was watching you, you would probably either be ashamed or not want Him to take it away from you?
No.
You don't think so? There's not anything in your life right now that, you just don't want God to have? Maybe like pornography, or maybe you look on with lust with a lot of women or men. I mean, I don't know what kind of person you are. Maybe you're experiencing not sexual sin. Maybe there's some other thing in your life that, that was the way it was for me. I ran away from God because there was a thing in my life that I just didn't want God to have. You know?
Gay?
No. I said there was a thing in my life. I didn't tell you what the thing was.
Oh, okay. Well, you brought up sexual things when you asked me, so I asked that. Hey.
Well, I mean, most of the time for men it is a sexual thing. But Nas, you know what Romans chapter 1, 18 through 20, it says you're going to be held without an excuse one day because you know God exists, but you're suppressing Him in unrighteousness. So there's a thing in your life that God has shown you. He's actually shown Himself to you. The problem is that you keep rejecting Him, and that's why people go to hell. I don't want you to go to hell.
Well, maybe he should be better at his job.
What do you mean?
Well, he should be better at his job then. If he hasn't revealed himself adequately, he should be better at it.
I'm not better than God. I'm lower. I'm lower than dirt.
No,
why
I
would
said
I be
God
better?
should. I didn't say you. I said God should be better at his job. You're assuming something. I said God should be better at his job.
Nas, what should he be better at? I'm just curious.
Well, I would say cure the ills of racism in this country, get rid of the prison industrial complex, get rid of the war on drugs, get rid of the molestation that's going on within that Catholic Church, which I don't hear many Christians say anything about because you guys are silent. That would be the starters.
Nas,
I think we can feed and clothe every human being on this planet. And if your so-called God actually cared, that would happen.
Yeah. Now, whose fault do you think it is that all of these things are happening?
Well, if you tell me he's all powerful, all knowing, all seeing, then him.
Well,
Look, the
because he's
stops there.
all seeing doesn't mean that he's not going to let us go. Because you see, Nas, the quick answer is,
we need
and I know
some
you
accountability. We need some accountability with this guy, man.
I got to give you the answer, man. Before you talk again, I got to give you the answer.
You don't have the answer. I've heard these nonsense platitudes before.
But now I'm going to tell you something that you already know. Okay? Here's the deal. Do you have a girlfriend or a wife or anything?
Of course, man. Of course.
All right. You love her, right? You love her with all your heart.
Yeah, it's a little far.
Come on, big boy. Stop it. She better not be listening to you right now.
Of course not. But no, I'm not in something that's years deep. This is just, something new.
Just
it's not
thing. Okay, but you love somebody. I mean, you love your mother, you love your father, your brother, your sister. Right?
Of course.
Of course. Now, Nas, if for some reason I'm just going to pick somebody. I don't know your life. I'm just going to pick somebody. Supposing your wife or no, your mother. Supposing your mother was.
Let's not do that.
Yo, man, don't pick on mothers. Mothers are saints.
I'm trying to give you an example. What's the matter, Mark?
I said, you never pick on somebody's mother. Mothers are saints. They can't do anything wrong.
There you go.
You know the guy. Listen, I'm going to pick anybody.
Even more reason to pick something else.
Anybody that you know that you love.
Supposing
they were just man. Supposing they were just robots. They were just robots. Whatever. Pick a friend. I don't care. They were just robots. And they said, "I love you, Nas. I love you, Nas." Is that real love? If they were just programmed to tell you that they love you, it's not real love, my friend. Because real love, by definition, is freely given and freely received. So the answer for you that you will not accept because you don't love God, Nas, is that God allowed mankind to be a free will, and they can choose to love or to hate.
Wow.
Okay.
So that absolves him of all responsibility.
But
I don't know. This guy doesn't sound like he works very hard. This is a lazy deity you're giving me here.
God, now hold on a second. If God made man to not have free will, then they couldn't, by definition, love God back. And that's just not the way he created us. He created us with
I just think a deity who has to have the love of whoever he created is petty, for one. And also that's so beneath what a deity is. You're creating galaxies, and you're worried about whether John from Fifth Street actually is sending love back to you. A jealous, petty God.
Hey, you're insulting my God. Nas, you're insulting my God. He does love John from J Street. Who are you?
I don't think you can prove that. Well, I've seen John from Fifth Street wife, and I don't think God cares about him.
Nas, is it because John made mistakes and he lives his life in a poor state? Where are you getting at with this? God loves everyone. What are you talking about?
They're children. They're children.
God.
Have you ever been to a children's hospital?
You know what? As a matter of fact, I've been into a lot of places, a lot of horrible places, and I've seen.
I'm asking you that specifically. Have you been to a children's hospital?
Yeah, I've been to a children's hospital.
Okay, so what did that child do to deserve that lot in life?
You are asking such a thick theological question. It starts all the way to the Garden of Eden when man fell and sin came in the land, that we get diseases, that we get pestilence, that we get ailments. Okay, all that
carry a grudge. My God. One guy makes a mistake and he carried a grudge on for billions and generations?
Right.
Wow. The pettiness is unprecedented.
Well, it cost him to send his son on the earth.
Yeah, the pettiness is unprecedented, man. Wow.
You don't accept it. You don't like that answer, but that's
because if you look at these things from a logical sense, and you could if you talk to somebody who wasn't indoctrinated as a Christian and you told them these things, they would look at you like you were silly because these are childish, silly things.
I don't know what that means.